There's so many good ones. When I lived in California by myself for a couple of years, and so when I finally got to go home and see my family, it had been so long and I'm very close with them. Getting off the plane and just having my whole family waiting with like big signs and just kind of taking me in their arms and just a big group hug was honestly one of the best moments of my life, and it was a phenomenal time. I was in tears, I was bawling, so was my mom and dad, and it was so great to see them. Just because with COVID and everything, I hadn't been able to go home at all, and so it had been a phenomenal experience.
My most cherished memory, I have a lot of them. Let me tell you what happened today. A group of people came up to a place where we were having a gathering, and they were from my hometown, and they remembered me after 50 years of my playing football and sports and things like that. It really gave me a really good feeling to have somebody remember you after so long. Well, I played running back. I have one of those great touchdowns where you run 99 yards that nobody can ever break. So I am really proud about that. Nobody can ever break that record.
My most cherished memory is probably when I went to the Outer Banks for the first time. It was my first time really seeing a beach that I was old enough to remember going to, and I got to see just different beach life. I got to go hang gliding for the first time. It was right before I graduated high school, and I had a lot of questions, so being at the beach kind of made me feel free.
Probably Mill Mountain, the star, seeing it at nighttime and when it's lit up. Yeah, like 65, 70 years ago. I enjoyed it. I went to Daytona Beach, and they don't have a star, so when I come back up here, I go to this one.
It was a trip I did with my dad. We did a road trip to Canada when I was young. I was probably 7 or 8 years old, and hit the road and beds in the back and no plan at all. We saw Niagara Falls. We stayed in cabins and went fishing, and it was just a great time. And just having no plan and just going out and having a destination and goal. It was such a great time, and probably never forget the experience with my dad.
High school life.
When I'm with my grandparents, I don't know.
I don't even know what happened 2 minutes ago, so I don't remember what happened 2 minutes ago, so I don't really go further than that.
It's probably, so I work with children, so just every day when I walk into work, when they all just come up and hug me and show me their toys or their pictures that they drew, it just it fills me with joy.
I think one of my most cherished memories is receiving my acceptance letter to JMU, because it was my #1 school, and I'm from New York, so it was a little bit difficult to make this decision to come here. So I'm 7 hours away, and it was the first time I'd really be away from my family, and just the overwhelming support and love that I received from my family when I got accepted, and they were like, go, go, go. We just want you, go pursue what you want. I think that was one of my most cherished memories, yeah.
My 8th birthday, and I remember that because it was Star Wars themed. When I was younger, I thought that was the coolest thing ever, and that's just stuck in my mind for, all these years. So
that's a tough one. I don't want to say I don't have an answer. My 18th birthday, 2 of my friends threw a surprise party for me. We said that we're just coming over to study for a math test, and then they had a cake and a balloon, and I wasn't expecting anything of it, and I don't know, that's kind of burned into my head. Just my friends doing that for me.
Probably when I went to London, when I was 13, 14. Stayed there for a month, and I made a lot of friends. I met new people. It was just overall a good experience. Yeah.
Maybe when I was 4, I went to a baseball game, and they put me on the Jumbotron. They asked me to solve a question about how many people were at the game, and they gave me an autographed baseball. It was really cool.
My whole life, my most cherished memory. We went on a trip to Hawaii when I graduated from high school, and I cherish those memories a lot. Just a good time spending time with family. It was a very beautiful place. Not that we don't live in a beautiful place right here, but it's just different. Pretty warm. The temperature was nice. It was just very fun. Breathtaking views. Just good time.
Living with my parents, when I was a kid. Childhood house, things like that. It was good. It was special. Like, we moved later, so going back there is always kind of nostalgic. That was in Ontario, Canada, in Hamilton. Yeah.
Birth of my first daughter.
What did that feel like?
Scary and happy. That's a pretty big life change.
Probably my most cherished memory would probably be earning the Grizzly Medallion of Distinction Award in high school, which is awarded to 12 different high school seniors that recognize students for leadership, service, and character, and then also just getting here and to just see a great welcoming environment like this was definitely a big cherished moment of mine.
Probably just getting my dog like last winter, a little puppy, Corgi.
Oh my gosh, my most cherished memory, probably finishing my first marathon. That was like the biggest thing I've ever done my whole life. And I was like, I can't believe I just did that. Yeah, it was horrible. I don't think I'm ever gonna do it again. But I was like, let's go.
Going to the beach with my friends and family. Guys, hurry up. What? Oh, we're going on vacations. Yeah, like vacations, being able to go to school with all my friends and stuff. Yeah.
My most cherished moment. When I seen my kids born. You know, they say it changed you when you see kids born. You know, and when I first saw my first kid born, it was like, before, I was like, yeah, you're just talking. When you see them, it's like, wow. I actually have two. That and when I first saw the ocean. Can't tell between the ocean and the sky. Those are two cherished moments. I think the most change was, you know, God gave me another chance. Well, when I was younger, I had my first kid when I was 21. Before then, you know, I was wild. I was in the streets, I was doing crazy things. And then when I had my first kid, it's like, okay, now you have to settle down. You got some responsibilities, you know, because they looking up to you. I changed a lot behind that.
Damn. Deep right off the bat. Most cherished memory. Can you think of any off the rip?
Probably that first time where we hung out as friends.
That's right.
Drinking for the first time.
That's probably what I was thinking, is like the birth of our little friend group.
Yeah.
It's not something many people have, is as many solid friends as we do.
Yeah.
Try and take that for granted. We all kind of grew up around the same neighborhood and went to the same school.
Yeah.
And then just by chain of events, we all just...
Yeah, you know, you hit 16, someone gets their driver's license, start driving, you know, we start expanding, getting that bit of freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Just experiencing that together.
Yeah. Do whatever you want. I'd say that's probably, yeah. Getting all the... Probably the beginning of the friendship of all the friends I have today is probably one of my most cherished moments.
Your bachelorette weekend? Oh, no. I would probably say with my grandmother. So growing up, she was probably one of my best friends. I just remember all the endless sleepovers we would do over at her house on the weekends. So, yeah, really good. She would always have cute little nicknames for me and my brother. And, you know, looking back now, she's passed on, but looking back now was something that was really special.
One of my most cherished memories, I think, was one of the first times I went scuba diving with my father. Getting to see the world from a different perspective and everything becoming so silent and muffled, and you only hear like your bubbles and your breath, and it's just a very different perspective on the world than we get every day. And just seeing wildlife in their natural, in true natural environment was a really special thing to share with my father. So,
giving birth to my children. Yeah, because that was when I think my whole life changed in a really good way. And it was just the anticipation of, you know, 9 months, well, planning to conceive and then carrying the children and then having the birth experiences. That was really life-defining and just, yeah, awesome. And the first time you get to do it for 2 other times, in my case, I got to, you know, every time it felt just as special as the first time. Yeah.
Seeing my daughter being born in person is something that I can see. Traveling, I like to travel. But I would say seeing my daughter being born in person, actually seeing her come out the womb, is nothing. That's unforgettable. You can't forget that.
What were you feeling? What was going through your head when that happened?
This is happening. There's no stopping it. What's next? What am I going to do from here? And what's the plan for her?
First thing that comes to mind is I used to play Little League Baseball,
and I was always pretty bad at it, let's be honest. Never hit a home run or anything like that, but except for this one time. I hit it way into the outfield, and all the infielders kept messing up, and so I got to run all the way around the bases, and I got an infield home run. I came back into the dugout, my dad was my coach, and he just lifted me up and looked at me with this big old smile on his face, and that just warms my heart every time I think about that.
I have a memory of my brothers. They passed away a few years ago, so it's a memory of them when I was younger. We were playing around. We were actually having a pillow fight. We put mattresses on the floor and just ran around that, and that's a memory that just stays in my head always. You know what I mean? Whenever I'm down, I think about that. It makes me happy. So yeah, that's an easy one.
First baseball game with my dad. I was like 9. That was a really cool experience. Just getting to go. It was like right when the Phillies were actually good, so we got to go actually see them win. So.
Probably seeing my baby cousin being born.
I don't know. I think probably when they told me my mom's cancer went away.
My most cherished memory. Having my first child. That was my most cherished moment. To actually give birth to a beautiful daughter. Yes, that was it. That was my most cherished one. I have 4, but your first one is always the most special one that you was actually able to create. Yes, that was it.
My most cherished memory would have to be winning state championship at the high school football game. That would have to be the most cherished one, yeah. Southeast, down in Florida, 2013-14 year. I played quarterback, wide receiver, cornerback. I played offense and defense, so coach had me pretty much everywhere, all over the field. It was emotional because it's been a while since the team actually won a championship, and the feeling was just, we had a couple injuries that, it was a lot of tests going on, but when we finally, at the end of the game, when we finally held up the championship, it was worth every bit of trouble we ran across. I got to do it for my team. I got to do it for my family. That's what I'm all about, honestly. That's how it felt. It's like I accomplished something for my family. That's for sure.
Yeah. So can I get personal? So my mom kind of went crazy. There's a period before that where I think she was okay, and I think one of my most cherished memories was I was really, really little, and we were just taking a nap, and I just woke up in her arms, and I kind of think of that she kind of turned into a really bad person, and she struggled with mental illness really bad and wouldn't get help, but that memory was kind of before everything went south, so that's kind of one of my cherished memories.
My most cherished memory, I want to be honest, I have no idea what I've done in my life. I have no memories. Yeah, no man, sorry I'm letting you down.
My son was born first, it was just really, it was a nice feeling, becoming a parent, dad, and traveling, makes me to cherish now and then, my wife there. We're from here, so every now and then we like to come up here, just to see the view. It's beautiful.
Most cherished memory? I guess having children, a new experience.
Ooh, probably when I got my first dog, to be honest. He was really nice. Yeah, he was really nice. We rescued him. He was in a really bad situation before he got to the rescue. He was a stray. So yeah, that's probably my most cherished moment. It felt really good because we finally got to the shelter wasn't bad. We finally got to take him out of the shelter, finally got to give him the love he deserved and stuff like that.
I had a really fun World of Warcraft guild, and we worked really, really hard to get all of our stuff together, get all our gear together, and we went into a very, very hard raid back in Wrath of the Lich King. And it took us a whole bunch of time and a whole bunch of effort, but when we finally finished it and we downed the boss, it was a huge celebration and everyone had a great time, and I will never forget it.
I sang Jeremy by Pearl Jam with the anesthesiologist as he put me under for a heart surgery. It was a pretty dope way to go into that. So it stands out. I just like the band a lot. Jeremy is one of my favorite songs by them, so I don't know if the person who's going to be putting you under and so they can tinker with your insides like the same stuff, there's a fun vibe, I guess. I don't know, things like that.
Oh, when my children were born. It's just a most beautiful thing in my life to happen to me. Yeah, to witness that. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
My most cherished memory would probably be going to Colombia. That's where half my family is. And yeah, just seeing all of them and all the memories I have made there. And I'm going there for spring break, so I'm excited. So I was born here, but my mom moved here when she was 28. So all of her family's down there.
Probably the first time I ever went to the beach. It was me, my dad, and my grandfather. They were each on either side of me. I was probably like, I don't know, 6. And it was just special to me because they were 2 like really important guys in my life. And it was just something that I'll remember forever. So yeah.
My most cherished memory is dying at 9. I was hit by a car when I was 9. For a period, I was unconscious on the ground before returning to this planet and going home. I was instructed when I left to return home. I did not know where home was, but the Creator told me, Mom. And I woke up and ran to Mom. That's my most cherished memory. Yeah, that's my thing. I don't think that led me to a God. I do think it's what has led to me being more spiritually in tune and aware than others. Having that experience showed me that there was more to this plane, and that had led me on kind of a search or a quest, if you want to call it that. I don't think it's a quest. I really think it's an assignment that you receive, and everyone's is different, but I became aware of my assignment much after that death.